All right. Check in, check in, check in. Where are you watching from? And I always ask this question when we get started. Can you hear me? Because technology is crazy and my lips could be moving and you could be like, what did Reka say? What's happening? What's going on? So check in with me. Can you hear me? Type in the comment section where you are watching from. Listen, I put makeup on you. I put makeup on my face for you today. So go ahead. I'm gonna wait. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What up? And as you are typing in the comment section, as you know, my name is Reka and I'm a certified NLP life coach. And as I do on my platform, it is my intention to help you discover your worth so that you stop tying your worth and identity to men and stop being a man pleaser. So I'm just going to check in. Yes. Hey, Auntie. I'm glad you can hear me. Next week, Auntie, Lene and I, we are going to discuss cheating and break it down in the biblical stance. Because a lot of people love to use God when it comes to staying with their man because they cheated. And I'm like, you ain't going to put that on my God. We're not doing that. But today's guest, I actually have a male guest, another one. As I always say on this platform, if you want to learn who good men are, you need to be listening to good men. Now, I know this guy, and from what I see, like obviously you're not going to know everybody 100% who they are, which is why you got to figure out who you are and what you want first. That's first and foremost. And then you can collect and do case studies as you get to know men and women and other people and whatnot. So anyway, I'm going to bring him to the stage. His name is Brad Lee. So proper. And let me tell you something. This is how he wanted me to introduce him. And I will never in my entire natural life introduce anybody this way. He wanted me to say that the HBCU that he graduated from was number, and I'm not even going to say the number because you know what you wanted me to say, Bradley. Welcome to the stage. And I will never, ever say that because, you know, I went to Howard University and I believe I went to and know that I went to the number one HBCU that there is out there. Shout out to Howard University, the Mecca. But you did go to Florida A&M, so it is HBCU love. So
Gang. It's
yeah.
okay. It's okay. I felt the hurt in your voice when you said it, but it's all good. It's all good.
Let me tell you something. Never. Just so whoever is watching this, whether you're listening on Single You, the podcast, you're watching here on Facebook live or in the replay, I want you to know that HBCUs, we love each other, but let me tell you something. It's something about going to Howard University that everybody loves to hate on.
Oh my goodness.
So okay, so let's talk about that real quick because
Yeah.
I have, you know, my friends Carla and Cameo, we all went to Howard at the same time. And so I do want to give you a moment to explain why you did go to Florida A&M and what did you learn going to an HBCU, man? Like there's nothing better than going to an HBCU, period, end of story. Fight with your mama about it.
I 100% agree. I
Yeah.
100% agree. So my dad actually went to FAMU.
Oh, okay.
He graduated back in like 75 or 76
However
or
old
something
our
like that.
parents are, they're
Yeah,
old. Right.
way back yonder sometime. But
Right.
yeah, he graduated from FAM. I ended up going to like all the football games, the parades. I never went to like the Florida Classic. I never went to that, but
Yeah.
everything else, I was there. Whatever was going on in Tallahassee, we were there.
Right.
So I was pretty much brought up around FAMU. I knew about the other little HBCUs everywhere else, but I mean, to me it
First
was
of all,
all
did you see
FAMU.
did anybody witness that shade? I've heard about all the other little HBCUs.
I
First of
knew
all,
about y'all, but you know, it was all about FAMU. All about
we
FAMU.
got a bison in the White House, so y'all can't tell me nothing. We are
That's true.
insufferable, right?
Hey, look who on the side of Joe Biden though.
You have to tell me.
Vincent Evans.
Okay, he went to
Yeah,
Florida. Let me find it.
absolutely.
Yo, HBCUs, man, they are ruling the world right now,
They're
and
killing it.
some of it I'm like, y'all late, but I'm also like, I'm glad that people are learning what a historically Black college and university means, why they were founded, the production of education that it gives us. There, and even though my dad, not my mom, my dad was a little nervous about me going all the way across the world because obviously I'm from Seattle, Howard University is in DC. It was the greatest decision I have ever made. I don't know where I would be today. I fell in love with radio at Howard. I didn't know what radio was. I just knew like, I want to go to Howard. I want to be around Black people and I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'll figure it out. And I did. Like I figured it out. So
It's a
yeah.
great experience. I suggest anybody. Like I tell people all the time now, like I'm the first university I'm gonna introduce my kids to is Florida A&M University. After that is every other HBCU.
Yeah.
And then after that is just all the other PWIs and whatnot.
Yeah. Speaking of kids, so I posted this the other day on my Facebook page. Oh my God, what did it say? I believe the sentiment was that this girl had tweeted, any man over 30 without kids is a big red flag.
I saw that.
Did you see? Yeah. So again, welcome Bradley to the show. This is Single You, the podcast live, and we are going to get into his journey of discovering his worth. Because yes, men need to go through that. I wish more men went through the journey that you are on, went through, minus the cheating, because you have been cheated on, and we're going to get into that. So I just wanted to formally welcome you to the platform, even though we was fighting about HBCUs. It's all love. So what are your thoughts on that? So you saw that. and you're like, wait a minute, but I'm over 30 and I don't have kids. What's happening? Why is that a red flag? Do you feel like people really actually think that way?
What I feel like people do. Um, they always say that there's some truth behind every joke. I'm not sure how true that part is, but I think that there are definitely people out there that think that's true. Um, it's one of those things where you just got to take it with a grain of salt because you never know who is really coming from, and those people they may be the most simple-minded people you probably would ever meet.
Mhm.
So for me, I look at that. I don't take any offense to it, just because I know that.
I'm glad you said that because I was going to ask you, like, do you get offended? Like, wait a minute, but I'm the 30-year-old without kids.
No, it's more like I see it and oh my god,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
and then just keep it moving.
yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't put too much I don't put too much power into it. I don't let it
Hmm.
try to affect my mood or
Hmm.
change how I think about myself and how I don't let
Good,
it do any of that. So
good. Yeah. Do men get the question a lot like women do? Where your kids at? How come you ain't got no kids? When you getting married? What da 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 da. The conversation around kids, is that heavy for you? Like, do people actually ask you or no?
I think it's getting a little heavier now.
Right, right, right. Because you just hit
But
that right. Wait, when's your
yeah,
birthday? Did you just turn 30 or you
I, no, I'll be 31 in June.
wait,
Yeah,
did I
so
know that? My birthday's June 29th. When's your birthday?
June 8th.
Shut up. Okay, June day. But you ain't a cancer though. I'm a cancer. I'm
Hey,
in.
I'm the best sign out there, so
Well,
it's all good.
you got the best month, but sign.
That's true. That's
Hmm.
true. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, it's definitely picking up. I probably would say over the last maybe 2 years, I've been getting a lot of it from my family. It's not even just like anybody outside. It's just like my family. It's like, okay, Brad, you next, right? You when you gonna have a little chocolate baby? I'm like, bro, listen, just
Yeah.
just pump your brakes, man. First off, I gotta find a wife. Like
First
that's
off,
first.
first things first. So remember when, and listen, this is not to shame anybody, but we're just talking, okay?
Hmm.
Um, but remember when we were little and we would say, first comes love, then comes marriage,
Marriage,
then comes
infant, the
baby
baby.
and a baby. Like, so can I go in the order of the things that y'all told me it was supposed to go?
Right,
How about that?
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't want it though. They get impatient. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just the grandkids conversation. Sometimes my dad will mention it here and there. My mom never, because I think my mom was like, "You go, girl," secretly, like, "You don't need this life. This is you don't need it." But my dad, the legacy thing, all of that. But I'm just like, yeah. Anyway, we about to die.
Right,
Jesus is coming back tomorrow. I don't care. I don't care.
right, right.
I don't need that to bring joy to my life. And I've also never I was just talking to Cameo and Carla about this. I said, I've literally never had the thought, oh, I wish I had kids. I've never had that thought. I've
That's
never.
interesting.
Yeah, I've never. That is not something that I need in my life. Now, if I get, I'm 30. I'm about to be 38, June 29th.
Hmm.
So clock is ticking anyway. But oh
It
well.
is. How many
So
siblings do you have?
two. I got two brothers. I'm the middle child, but the only
Okay.
girl. So I feel like the only child. So it's weird. Like
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have middle child syndrome, as they say, because I am the only girl. So I
Right.
was never forgotten about, right? Like I
Right.
just because I was the only girl. So
Yeah.
all right, so let's go to the beginning.
Hmm.
Um when you were growing up, obviously I know your backstory, but let's unpack it, let's talk about it. When you were growing up, the first question I ask everybody on this platform is, did anybody have a conversation with you about what makes a healthy relationship versus an unhealthy relationship?
No. No.
Mhm,
I and keep in mind, I grew up with both my parents.
mhm.
My parents have been married for 36 years now.
Okay. Shout out to
Yeah.
the
So
parents. Yes.
I know. I
Yeah.
know. So they've been married for 36 years now, and I grew up with both of them,
Mhm.
but never had the conversation of, okay, this is how it's supposed to work. This is, what you do. This is what happens. X, Y, and Z. They never broke down the basics of it and
Yeah.
nothing. So I just But my parents, they were really ones that it was more so like my actions versus my words.
Hmm.
So they really leaned on their actions more. So whatever they did, that's what I kind of paid attention to. And I was when I was younger, like I mean, I was a smart kid. I ain't gonna lie, I was a smart kid. I didn't really.
I love it. Hey, toot the horn. Listen, I was smart. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't no. I was paying attention when they didn't
Yeah.
think I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, I was looking at what was going on and what was happening, and that's how I really started to formulate some stuff. But of course, I mean, as you're a kid, you got those outside sources as well, like your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents. My grandparents was married for God knows how long too,
Right.
so I've always had examples outside of my parents. But yeah, man, nobody ever really came down and said, "Hey, this is how it's supposed to work.
Hmm.
This is what
Yeah.
you're supposed to do." I just
Yeah.
had to pay attention to stuff, and even then, I didn't even get it. So it took me a while. It took me till I was in my mid 20s to really understand it.
Right. So I was going to say, do you feel like that conversation, because you and I have the same story in that sense, like parents still married, great parents, love them, but there was never like, okay, well, this is how you get to how we, got here. Because from what I see, they're healthy. Like they still
Hmm.
make me want to throw up in my mouth when they kiss, or if you know what I mean. Like I still feel 12 when I'm around them because they're still so cute. But there was never like, okay, so this is not enough conversations, and this is not to throw anybody's parents under the bus or anything, but and because some of it is on me because I didn't even know to ask. Like
Hmm.
I
Right.
didn't know, what was I supposed to ask? I don't know. And so do you feel like conversations like that, like, hey, this is character, this is the healthy hard, because a lot of married people love to say marriage is hard, and people get all confused about that, and we will be talking about the cheating coming up. But do you feel like a conversation like that would have helped you in your dating life?
Absolutely. I think that especially if it was a talk between me and my dad. Like me and my mom, we're don't get me wrong. Me and my mom, we're great. We're cool. I love my mom to death. I
Yeah.
love her just as much as I love my dad. But
Yeah.
like I said, me and my dad, we're one and the same. So things just hit differently when it comes from my dad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just like for example, when I moved up here to Nashville recently, I my dad told me he was proud of me. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Fuck too. Fuck too. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so okay, I'm doing something.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like if it was a conversation between me and him, it definitely would have played a big part because he was that person that I really looked up to when I was younger, and I wanted to be like. Just hence me
Yeah.
going to FAMU. So, but yeah, no, it definitely would have helped. It
Yeah.
would have helped me learn some what to really look out for, what kind of red flags are out there, and what I'm supposed to give to the relationship, and what I'm supposed to be receiving, and what I'm
Right.
not supposed to be accepting, etc.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, we're so let's get into that, because I remember that I had asked you in the questionnaire that I sent all my guests, was there a time where you felt like you didn't know your worth? Right?
mhm.
Do you remember your answer?
Man, I don't remember my answer, but
All right.
I'm pretty sure it had to be. I don't know if I give an age range or not, but it probably
Mhm.
was in my mid 20s when I didn't really know it. That's
Mhm.
actually like my early to mid 20s. That's when
Yeah.
all the cheating and whatnot happened. So
Right. So that's why I want to get into that, because you said, yeah, it's been an ongoing battle for me since about 6 to 7 years ago, after
mhm.
going through multiple relationships and being cheated on. And so when you started dating, I don't know at what age were you when you actually really started dating? And then what age were you when you got into the first relationship? Because you said there was multiple. You've been cheated on more than one?
Yeah, man, it's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah. See, newsflash, women cheat too. I know, because listen, on my platform, I get a few, not a lot, because I think that I'm pretty good at explaining what my platform is. But a lot of
Mhm.
men say, "Oh, Reka just a man hater." And every time I say something about men cheating, they love to say, "Well, women cheat too." I never said that. I never said they didn't. But anyway, so at what age were you at when you started dating the first one? We can talk about her and kind of the ebb and flows of that, the red flags you passed up. So what was
Mm.
that like? You met her and what? Tell that story.
All right, so that's the first relationship I really count. It's very very interesting because our parents knew each other. Um,
Ah,
so both of my dad and her dad are both in the same fraternity. They both worked in the same coalition for like 20 years together. My dad's a pastor, her dad's a deacon, so they both were heavy in the church, and we were all in the same district. So um, yeah, it was very very interesting. Like it was so weird because I didn't know her before we got into it, or before we started talking. I didn't know like who her father was. I knew of him, but I didn't know that was her father.
oh, okay.
So yeah, it was so weird. But
And that's
yeah,
like a setup. Did you have, because I feel like a girl would have this fantasy of, oh my God, well, this is perfect. My dad and his dad, they're already friends and blah, blah, blah.
right.
Like the formula seems like it's
It was
perfect.
it was perfect. It was
Mhm.
You can't get no better than that, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's what when you meet somebody, you always hope like, dang, I hope our parents get along. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
really hope
yeah,
they do.
yeah.
They were already good friends, so you
Right,
can't really beat that.
right,
But
right.
yeah, clearly that didn't matter.
Right, right. Okay, so you start dating her. How long were you guys together?
So we were together before the first time we broke up. We were together
Oh, this is
for
one of those
yeah,
revolving door relationships.
yeah. I was
Okay.
young, man. I was like 18 when we started dating.
Okay.
I was yeah, I was fresh into college. I was a freshman
Mhm.
in college.
Mhm.
My
Yeah.
first semester, so that's when we started dating.
Mhm.
And we was together for I think like a year, maybe a little bit
Okay.
over a year,
Okay.
before we broke up the first time. Which the
Yeah.
first time we broke up was because of cheating, and then
Wow.
yeah,
Meaning
me
she
being
cheated on you. Yeah.
he
Yeah.
cheated on me, yeah,
Yeah.
and she was my first as well. So
Yeah.
that was the whole reason behind me still feeling what I felt, and
Mhm.
trying to forgive her. And
Mhm.
that's why we ended up getting back together, because I still had those feelings of, oh, was she my first, and I want to see if we can make it
Yeah.
work. I always wanted to just marry the woman that I gave it away
Yeah.
to first, and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, so
That's so interesting because it's this is why I like talking to men as well, the good men that I deem as good, um, good men,
for sure.
because we don't. That's how we think, and so girls think that guys just don't have these emotions and they're cut off from their feelings.
Mhm.
So I think the first assumption would not be that you were like, yeah, well, she was my first, so I want to like hold on to this because that's such. Like I said, we know that we would feel that way. So
Mhm.
when you're entering us into this relationship at 18, what do you think at that moment a man was supposed to be to her?
Honestly, I don't really think you could be too much at
Mhm.
that point. I mean, you're 18.
Yeah.
You don't have a career job. Clearly,
Yeah.
I'm a freshman in college,
Mhm.
so I don't really have that much education behind me. I mean, I can't provide for you in the way that you probably
Right.
would want. I mean, I'm only 18 years old, so my family
But
wasn't
when
rich,
you're
so
right, but
I didn't have.
when you're going into this relationship though, at if you can remember back when you were 18, did you think like, yeah, I'm gonna provide for her, like this is gonna be my wife? Like what was the initial like feelings and thoughts while you were dating this woman or this young
that was
woman?
that was my thought. Like, okay, eventually I'm gonna provide
Yeah.
for her like she wants. It wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily that I'm gonna do it right now. It's
Okay.
just,
Yeah.
okay, well, I'm gonna get my degree by this age. I'm gonna be at my
Mhm.
master's by this age. I'm gonna be in my career by 26. So yeah, a few years, man, we gonna be set. Me and her, we
Right.
gonna be good. We gonna move X, Y, Z. We probably gonna be, getting ready to be married. Except,
Yeah.
man, I had it all planned out, etc. Like, but
And then she
you know,
messed it all up. Okay. So let's get to you're dating her.
mm.
And again, if you're just tuning in, he was cheated on by this young lady. What do you believe that you passed up red flags?
Absolutely.
Ooh. What were they?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
It was, and this kind of what it's really hampered a couple of relationships after that.
Mhm.
Just when it comes to friendships that she had, the way that they interacted, I just at the time I didn't think too much of it, but right now looking back on it, or over the past few years looking back on it, it's like, yeah, that was weird. Like that's not a usual friend dynamic. You know what I
Oh, the
mean?
way that
So,
she interacted with male friends.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Can you remember of an example that you would deem as weird?
Um, so there would be times where she would like. So I'm open, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm closed off, but I'm open at the same time. So if I know you, if we
yeah.
good, we cool. I have no
So
problem being open with you.
you probably an introvert. You think
I'm
so?
an ambivert. I'm an
Okay.
ambivert.
So both.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
I'm a perfect mix of both.
yeah.
So for me, if I have a phone, let's take a phone call for example, right? If I have a phone call, I'm like, hey, listen, this is X, Y, Z. I'm about to step out real quick.
Yeah.
There was none of that, right? There was
Mm,
no, oh, who is that text you? Nah, this ain't nobody. Okay, yeah. Come to find out later on, I get messages. Well, I ain't even say I get messages, but um, don't judge me. Listen, I was young,
okay.
so
This is a safe
I
space. No
yeah,
judgment.
I had passwords. I had
Yeah.
passwords, so I go on to like her Facebook and what was live at the time? I didn't have her MySpace. I think MySpace was popping at that time, but
Larry.
yeah. So I go on her Facebook Messenger and like
Yeah.
all the messages are just right there, just
Yeah.
and I'm like, dog, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, what in the world, man? But yeah, that's just one example of what happened. I mean,
Yeah.
just and that, like I said, that's what really scarred me going into a couple of relationships after that too.
Because then you projected what she did to you onto them, I'm sure. So we'll get into
Yeah.
that too. But first, I want to sit here because the friend dynamic when you're in a relationship, especially a young one or one where you haven't had this conversation about what is healthy, what is not healthy, a lot of people think that men and women cannot be friends at all.
Mhm.
And a lot of people are like, yeah, I wouldn't let my wife or I wouldn't let my husband have a male or female friend. Where do
Mhm.
you stand with that right now?
I think it's possible. I know for a fact it's possible. I have female friends now. I've always had female friends,
Yeah.
and even going to that, excuse me, into that and further into that relationship, I mean, what comparing what I did with her to what she did with me,
Yeah.
it was polar opposites, right? So I've always believed in, okay, I'm going to introduce you to all my female friends. I don't
Yeah.
want you to have no kind of assumptions, no gray areas out there. I want everything to be out in the open.
Mhm.
I'm not even going to let you like just talk to them on the phone. Like we're going to meet in person
Yeah.
type, type deal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I did that, and I always told her exactly what it was, and I always tell whatever girl I'm dating at the time exactly who this person is, what our relationship is, how long we've been, friends, et cetera, et cetera. So I definitely believe it's possible. I just don't think that I, I think people really just let social media and just the world itself just get into their heads to where they just feel like it's impossible.
Right, exactly. Or because they couldn't do it, right? So
Right.
when you feel like you are the person who can't do it, then you project that when you're not in a healthy space, when you don't know
Right.
life, you don't know humanness, you don't know psychology, you then
Right.
project that onto other people. And the reason why I wanted to sit in this conversation because man, my abusive ex, that was the underlining thread for 2 years of
Hmm.
our relationship because he would always accuse me of cheating because I did have male friends.
Hmm.
And the way he went about it was extremely unhealthy. So it is totally okay for you, Bradley, if you think something's fishy, to be like, yo, Reka, who that? And
Hmm.
I should say, oh, that's just my friend Scott, or this is blah, blah, blah. Because
Right.
sometimes we're not um especially me, because sometimes I could be a little flighty, spacey. Sometimes I'll forget, like if he like a friend calls me. Definitely not if we're at the mall and he walks up to me. Of course, I'd be like, Scott, this is my boyfriend, Brad. Brad, this is Scott. What up? Da 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 da.
Right.
Which is totally fine. That is fine, at least in my relationships moving forward.
Right.
But some people, as far as my abusive ex, couldn't handle that, and I didn't know then that that was manipulative, and it was because he was projecting, because he was
Mm-hmm.
cheating the whole time, which I didn't know while I was in that relationship. So I began to try to like shapeshift and morph into what he needed me to be. So I cut off friends because I thought, well, I have to prove to him that I love him, because he would say that all the time. Well, see, you don't love me because you
Mm-hmm.
won't do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And so I didn't know that at that time, that's not love. Like, I'm trying to be, I let Brad or whoever set the rules of my relationship, of this relationship that we're in together. Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. We have to come to an understanding of, I am cool with you having female friends. I just need to know who they are. That's it.
Facts, man. Like, and
Yeah.
that's what I be saying all the time. It's just like, I don't have a problem with you having male friends.
Yeah.
Even after that situation, like I said, it helped me. It scarred me for a couple of relationships. But
Yeah.
after I started going into my little journey, trying to heal myself and whatnot,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with male friends, with having male friends. It's just let me know who they are. Because
Yeah.
once you get into the um, oh well, he's just a friend. I don't really tell me too much about him, or if you don't let me meet him or talk to him or whatever.
Yeah.
If you see him in person and you don't introduce me,
Hmm.
now those triggers are being triggered. So it's now going back to this whole relationship where I went through all of that, and that's not a bad. It's not a good space to be in.
Right.
So
Exactly. So was there maybe another red flag that you passed up? So obviously she was a little shady in the friendship, and then I want to get
mhm.
into how did you figure out she cheated on you? But yeah, so was there another red flag that maybe you passed up?
um, I don't think there was one because everything really dealt with the friends.
Okay.
Even when it came to like her female friends, I just the way that they operated and how they talk with each other, and just not
Yeah.
saying that you can't, have those type of discussions or whatever, but I think that she was influenced a lot by her friends. Although
Mhm.
one of her friends was married, she still her friend was still out and about.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was probably the biggest red flag aside from the other
Isn't
one.
it?
But
Yeah. Isn't it funny that when we know that somebody is married, we think that automatically means they figured out relationship.
man,
Like, oh, they're married though, so I have to listen to them, or they're perfect, or
that
they
marriage
have
is
this.
trash.
Yeah, they have this lifestyle that I want so badly, so they're perfect. Like that
Man.
is, yeah. And I do want to ask, I do want to get into that topic, but first the red flags, and then let's get to, so how did you find out she was cheating on you? Was it the messages you said because you was on her MySpace?
Hmm. Yeah, so I found out through her Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Found out through there. And she still doesn't know that I did all this. She don't know that,
Yeah.
but yeah, I
Good for
found out
you.
through it there.
Never show your cards. Never
Exactly,
show your cards.
exactly,
She doing the dirt. You don't need to show your cards. Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found out through there. Like I said, that was the first time we were together. Then we broke up for like 6 or 7 months or
Yeah.
something. Then we got back together. Then the second time,
Okay, wait. We're not gonna skip. We're not gonna skip. So when
okay.
you found out, did you
Mhm.
break up with her immediately, or what was that like?
Nah, it was one of those, man, I was young and dumb. Like,
Listen, no. See, that is something that I push back against, because there are 38-year-olds, 47-year-olds, 52-year-olds walking around here doing the same young and dumb
it
stuff.
is.
And they
It is.
don't, the Bible says when I was young, I acted as young, and now I'm da da da. People don't follow that though. They don't,
Right. Yeah, yeah.
they don't overcome because they never go on the journey.
Right.
So you was young and dumb. Okay. So what happened? So
Yeah.
you
In
stayed because or
in
you
in the context of myself, I was
yes.
young and dumb
Right.
compared to now.
Right.
So yeah, I stayed for a little while, just kind of like out of disbelief. Like I didn't want to believe it, I just me being ignorant, just trying to see the better side. Yeah, so I stayed for a little while.
Yeah, yeah.
I should have broke
But
up
did
right
you
then,
bring
but
I was gonna say, did you bring it up right away though? Like, hey,
nah, nah.
Bradley,
I
you
know, man.
saw
I know. I
with
know.
your own two eyes. You actually have proof.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
So yeah,
I wasn't really as vocal as I am now back then.
yeah, me neither.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I just let it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again, nobody's having these conversations with us, right? So who's
Right,
sharpening our iron in the space of speaking up for yourself in relationships?
right,
Who? So when you see that, and you're like, but I just want to be with her, though. You're just, yeah, we do that too. Like, as women, like, but I want the story, though. I want to be
right.
with him. I want to get to this ultimate goal in life, which is married and kids. And so I'm just gonna be quiet.
Mm,
Or some women need the permission. They don't know that they're allowed to speak up for themselves. They don't know how. There's a lot of fear in that, fear of losing somebody. And so we just stay in these positions that are so unhealthy. That's
so
crazy.
toxic. It was so
Yes, yeah, so toxic. So then 6 months go by and you get back with her. Why?
toxic.
Did she come back? Did she even apologize? What happened?
She did apologize,
Because
but
eventually you brought it up, right? Eventually you brought
yeah,
it up. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So we had that whole discussion, and like I said earlier, it's just me, her being my first, and just me, trying to only keep it at one person and be married to this individual, and trying to work things out, because I
Mhm.
did see that as well through like outside relationships, through uncles and aunts, and things, but their divorces and their relationships and stuff. So I did see, sometimes you just got to try and work it out. So that's what I was trying to do, and
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
man, it
Yeah.
was it was all bad,
So
all
then,
bad.
right. So you take her back. Okay, let's stick there for a second. Because
I
I
know,
know why you were trying to keep it to one number and you were trying to make it work. At least I think I
yeah.
do. So let me ask you this. Was it because you were a Christian and you felt like this is what I'm supposed to do?
It was more so, like I was always raised to, you don't have sex until you're married. Yeah, I
Right.
was always raised that. It wasn't like forced upon me,
Right.
but that was one of those things. Like I said, I was young, I was smart, I paid attention, so it's just one of those things that I really
Yeah.
stuck to.
Yeah.
Even I played basketball through middle school and high school, and if you know anything about sports in high school,
Oh, you're
it's a
popular.
lot of it's a lot of horny boys in
It's
there.
right. And you're
Everybody
popular.
had
There's a lot of girls.
popular, for
Listen,
sure,
I
for
was a
sure.
cheerleader, so I was very
Oh
popular in
yeah,
junior
so
high and high school. So I know what's going on. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even through all of that, I mean, I always got the jokes about being a virgin, but it didn't phase me because I always
Yeah.
knew, like in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I mean, whatever y'all like it being, I'm cool, like I'm straight with it.
Right.
I mean, I'm still getting girls. I get more girls than y'all, so it don't even
Right.
matter. You know, but
I
yeah,
ain't even
so
got to give it up. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm getting the same thing y'all getting, without okay, cool.
Right.
But it's just one of those things that I really stuck to as a kid, and I don't think that I think my parents did have something to do with it, but it was more so just me understanding, like, okay, well, I just want to do this for me. Like, it's not even about being a Christian per se. It's just I
Yeah.
just want to do this for me. I don't want to
Yeah.
be out here like everybody else. You know what I mean?
So then why do you think, and I didn't even think I was going to ask this question, but since we're talking about it, why do
I
you
know where
think
you're going.
right? Why did you think you gave it up for her then? What
I
was it about her?
I don't know.
Yeah. That
I think
temptation. That
it
temptation.
was. It was. She might have been a smooth talker too.
Listen, don't act like the devil ain't real and he not gonna put dangle things in front of you. But
Man,
looking back then and now you're 30, Are you practicing abstinence, celibacy, whatever people call it? And you don't have to answer if you don't want to. I'm just asking.
No, it's no problem. So because I'm not in a relationship now, I kind of am. You know, me and my last girlfriend, we broke up in December of 2019. So I think I've only done it twice since then. But I mean, they were with her though, so it wasn't like, you know, just out here going crazy. But for me, I won't say that I'm practicing it. Per se, but I'm not just out here trying to, you know.
You're not out here in these streets. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I got better things in mind.
Right. Like you're in grad school, and so I think that a lot of people think that a bachelor such as yourself is out here in these streets. Like, do you feel like people think that about you? Like, oh, this is a bachelor, so he's sleeping with 30 women in 5 minutes.
Listen, I grew my beard in 2014, right? Ever since 2014, just by my beard alone, people have called me a hoe. I can tell these people all day, every day. Like, listen, I don't have nobody to text, call, nothing, FaceTime, nothing. Oh, but you dark skinned, you got a beard. What does that mean?
Yeah. Dang, that freaking I don't think that, because I'm black. So I just know, I mean, but the connotation, not that black people don't think that about you as well, but yeah, the connotation about a black dark-skinned man who looks good, beard, is that he's out here on these streets. So again, this is why I love to have men like you on my platform, because not enough of us see examples of you. Like examples of this. Not to say you don't make mistakes or whatever. You're not perfect. Nobody is. So about the trying to make it work and staying, did you feel like, again, do you feel like that came from, well, I'm a Christian, so I have to forgive her, and so I need to stay? Or where do you think that came from? Just holding on because you wanted the story? Where did that come from?
I think it was a little bit of the Christian thing. Just trying to, like I said, I had already given it up. So just, I was like, dang, I mean, I don't want to be out here just going crazy with anybody and everybody. So I was just, so it was really just me trying to hold on to that one person and make it work.
Yeah. And thinking that's like forgiveness, right? Like, well, because she apologized, I must forgive her, so I'll stay because God would want me to.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I truly actually forgave her. Now that I like really look back at it, I don't think I really truly forgave her. It was just me being blinded by love and
right. And we think the act of staying with somebody after they apologize is forgiveness. Forgiveness is a heart thing, and really is for you as the individual. Forgiveness has nothing to do with staying with somebody. In fact, I love to say all the time, forgiveness does not actually mean stay.
Yeah, for sure.
You can leave. We're allowed to make these decisions. And it is a choice that I think a lot of people love to put on the altar of God. And listen, I'm a Christian. Everybody on my platform knows that, but I'm very critical of Christians because the Bible talks about that too. And I do want to get into cheating because you're a man who got cheated on. Have you ever cheated? And how do you feel about the narrative that all men cheat? Okay, hold on. Don't answer that. I'm going to go ahead and pay some bills real quick. So I am going to mute us and play this video.
I won't make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time. I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me breaking. I swear you're falling into me time. it's worth your while. So give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me break it and whisper it. You're falling into me, touch me. I swear you would do anything that I want. So keep us awake till the dawn. Baby, feel free. I wanna make you sweat on me.
Okay, so I want to know your answer. So what I asked was, have you ever cheated? And how do you feel about that rhetoric that's out there that all men cheat? This is just something we have to deal with.
No, I've never cheated. Never. Yeah, it's so weird because people never believe me when I say that. But
Which is sad because we've fallen into this trap that this is just the cost. It is the admission. It is just what you're going to have to deal with. And when
right,
the pastor says for better or for worse, this is what he means. And it's
right,
not.
it's
That's not the worst, baby. It's not. So go ahead.
But yeah, I've never cheated. And like I told you earlier, I don't let certain things offend me, but
Yeah.
that's one that I don't necessarily let offend me.
Yeah.
But I always come back with because I know
It
for a
bothers
fact
you.
there are
It
people
bothers
out
you.
here that are doing their best
Yeah.
to not be out here just out in the streets like that. So
Yeah.
and me being one of those people, it kind of bothers me a little bit. So
Yeah. Yeah. So why do you feel like she cheated on you and the other one? Do you believe in that saying, nice guys finish last? Because from what I see and knowing you for the few months that I've known you, we met on Clubhouse. And when I'm on Clubhouse in these rooms, I'm listening for good men. I'm like, let me put my ear to the streets, and then I stalk them on Instagram and see what they talking about. But do you think it is because of that? So to me, I have deemed you a nice guy. I don't know if you call yourself that, but how do you feel about that statement?
For a long time I did. I put a lot of energy into that nice guy finish last. I did. I won't say that I too much believe in it now. It kind of resonates in the back of my head. It's never gonna leave, but it's just I don't put too much power into it because I think people are just gonna be people at the end of the day. Like whether you're a good guy, whether you're a bad guy, it don't matter. At the end of the day, like I said, it's just I'll get where I'm gonna go when I'm supposed to be there. So it's not a matter of me finishing last, etc. Like my race is still going, so it's not even done yet. So I can't say that I'm finished. But I just think that people don't really they just don't really they don't take into consideration how other people feel. They don't do a lot of stuff, but I don't put that much pressure into that.
Yeah, and I try my best, and I know that I'm not going to be able to do it in every moment, in every 2-minute clip or 10-minute clip or an hour on the podcast, for people to hear me say. I don't speak in absolutes. So anytime I say something, I'm not speaking in absolutes. And when you attach that label on nice guys finish last, you are removing all of the I don't like the word broken, but I'll just use it for now. Broken women who don't even recognize a nice guy, a quote unquote nice guy, because we are chasing after what we were told to chase after or what we saw. And so we're just repeating the generational curses or what have you, what our mom did, our dad did, and because most people don't come out of their mother. And then when they first start walking and talking, they go, okay, now I need to figure out who I am. Nobody sits down and does that. And we need to. Like, I wish there was an emphasis and focus. And that's why I'm using my platform to do that. Focus on who you are first. And so then when people say those things like nice guy finish last or all men cheat or whatever, you can be like, okay, but not for me. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. Like, that ain't happening in my life, So you guys break up, and I know you said that affected her having male friends, affected you and your next relationships. How did that affect you, and how did that come out?
So it made me be more. I don't know if territorial is the right word, but it just made me like more
Have some
aware
controlling
and
tendencies.
some controlling tendencies. Yeah,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing to be proud of, but I mean, this is what happens. Like, it's
yeah,
when you
yeah,
put your heart into something so much and people do it, this is what happens. So, the control came out. I guess I could call it territorial. I was very territorial of the woman that I dated.
yeah.
Um, just not trying to allow her to do certain things with friends that she knew long before I even knew her.
Yeah, yeah.
Just yeah, it really put me on edge about all of that.
Mhm, mhm. And she ended up did she cheat on you as well?
Um, I had one after the first one. I had one
Uh,
girlfriend cheat on me after that,
oh, okay.
and there's another one that is kind of out in the air. I ain't really confirm it, but I'd seen some things too with that. But
Yeah, yeah. And that's what sucks, right? Because hurt people hurt people. So she left your first girlfriend left her residue on you, and then you started showing up like that in your next relationship. And so I like my ex, again, I wish him well, love and light. I don't know where he is today. I hope he's working on himself, but
mhm,
I know for a fact, like those are things that happened to him too. And plus, he didn't really have a good relationship with his mom, which should have been a red flag for me, but it wasn't. And I was also young and dumb, right? Um,
right,
so he would say that a lot, like his baby mama cheated on him, this and that. And he would talk about these women as if he did no wrong, which is another red flag. And so I felt bad for him. And so for me, I was in the space of like, I'm going to prove to him that I'm a good woman. I'm his best, girlfriend, because I wanted to fix the hurt that was left on him, right? So it's like
mhm,
it sucks because you're a good dude, I'm a good dude. Let's just say he was you, and it's like you being that controlling person. Um, it breaks us up, right? And then it's like,
mhm,
dang, like we could have made it work if you just say things like, listen, it makes me really uncomfortable when you don't introduce me to your friends. I just trying to figure out
right,
like where I fit in, because it's
right,
okay to have those questions, and it's 100% okay to ask, right?
right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure, for
yeah.
sure.
So after those relationships, when was a moment? Did you have like a moment where you were like, you know what? This dating life is not working for me. I need to figure something out. Like, when did you have that like awakening? Because I do know that you said you went on your journey of discovering your worth and healing yourself and trying to figure out why you would have allowed all of this mess.
hmm Yeah. So in 2014, I had been dating a girl since 2013.
Mhm.
We were probably about 5 months in at the time. So in January 2014, I got sick. I got diagnosed with what's called ulcerative colitis, and
I
it's
feel like
like
I've
a
seen those
cousin.
commercials. Yeah.
It's cousin to Crohn's,
Okay. Okay.
technically. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, that put me out for like half a year, and I was in between going to the hospital, um, staying home. I couldn't work. I was using, just throwing up like 5 to 10 times a day. Sometimes I couldn't eat at
Yeah. Can
all.
you? I was gonna say, can you? Yeah, educate me on that a little bit, because
Mhm.
I've heard of it because of the commercials, but I'm still unaware of what happening. So you're saying you're throwing up, you're just sick, you just feel sick all the time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll walk you through the entire thing. So one day
Yeah.
I was at work. I woke up normal. Woke up fine. I got to work. I was working at a restaurant at the time, so I got there. I was even working for like an hour. Probably like an hour in, I was like, "Hey man, I gotta go to the bathroom. Just watch this for me." Went to the bathroom. I used the bathroom. Threw up. Um, so that happened. Came out. Of course, my mind's like, "Okay, well, I hope I ain't getting sick. I hope I ain't got no
Yeah.
bug." But came out. Started working again. About 15, 20 minutes later, went back and did the same thing again. So now the red flag is up. Like, okay, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
I don't normally do this. Like, what's happening? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna drink some water, be fine, go back to work, chill. So went back to work, man. 15, 20 minutes later, went back and did the same exact thing. So
Wow. Yeah.
at that point, it was more so, hey, listen, Dad, I got to go to the ER. Like I don't know what's going on, but I'm using the bathroom and I'm throwing up at the same time. Like
Yeah.
it's bad out here. So went to the ER probably like 2 weeks later, and it never stopped after that. Just like it never stopped.
Mhm.
Every single day between January 17th and March. I mean not March, but May. I think it's like I think I went in at like May 15th or something like
Yeah.
that. That was the last time I've been in the hospital, and I was in the hospital for like 8 days at that point. So between January and May, it was a consistent. I was using the bathroom
Yeah.
15, 20 times a day. I was throwing up 5 to 10 times a day. I lost like 30. I think it was like 35 pounds between January and the beginning of March.
So
Um,
that's not healthy.
yeah, no, not at all. So I think I lost a total of like 48 pounds between
Oh my
January and
God.
May.
What did you
Yeah,
look like? You had to be a I
I
mean,
was
I don't
skinny,
know if
bro.
you, yeah, I was gonna say you had to be a skeleton.
Yeah, so it got to the point to where my mom, the last time I went to the hospital, my mom, we had went to, I was going to see this gastroenterologist, black guy. What he was doing wasn't really working.
Yeah.
So we eventually got fed up, and it's so weird because I had the mindset of just skipping the appointment and just going straight to the ER and
Yeah.
trying to get another one, but something was just like just go to the appointment. Just I had my faith in the black guy.
Yeah.
So got to the appointment, and one of his nurses came in, and she was just like she didn't make it any better. She was like, yeah, it's so weird. It's so funny. Well, that's not funny, but so I wish that people really understand because I just had I think she's her aunt, her grandmother just passed from like prostate cancer, and they always found out at the latest time. I'm like, what is that to say to me, right?
Right.
Like I'm sitting here crying, my mama crying. No, I
Right. Let's
wasn't
not
crying at
talk
that point.
about death. Right.
I'm sitting
Right.
here emotional. My mom's crying, and you coming here talking about your grandmother or your aunt found out she had prostate cancer late and she passed. Like, bro, that's not that's not the thing to say to me right now. So
Yeah.
after that, I broke down crying, and I'm not a crier, so I
Yeah.
don't cry. I can probably count on my hand how many times I've cried in the last 5 years.
Right.
But I cried at that point, and I was like, "Mom, we got to go. Like, we got to go to the ER." And when we got there, she just like broke down when I got into the onto the bed in the back, and she was just like, "Man, like we talked about it like long after." And she was like, "I thought you were about to die. Like, you looked like you were about to die. It had got really bad."
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's when you got your diagnosis or
I got my diagnosis back in February.
of
So
2020?
I, yeah, so I had the
Yeah.
colonoscopy,
Yeah.
endoscopy, and that's when they found out. And that's, like I said, the guy had been trying to do a lot of stuff. There was
Yeah.
certain medicine that you can take, but none of it was really working. Like it would work for a couple of days, and I'd be right back doing the same
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
So
So so this is correlating with your journey of like self-discovery and discovering your
mhm.
worth and stuff. But I want to I just want to make sure you're good. Like, is this manageable for you now? Is it gone? Is it curable? Is it
No, so it's something that I'm gonna deal with for the rest of my life.
okay?
But I've been managing it since 2014.
Yeah.
I have to get steroid treatments every couple months
Yeah.
to kind of keep it under control. But yeah, it's been. I mean, it's fine. There are certain things I don't eat, certain things that I don't drink.
Yeah.
I just do it. Well, let me put it like there's certain things that I'm not supposed to eat or drink. I just do it in moderation. So it
Bradley,
doesn't really.
stop
Hey,
it.
listen, let me tell you a funny story. So when I first got diagnosed, right, one of the first questions I asked my doctor, and keep in mind I'm 23 at the time. So
Yeah.
one of the first things I asked my doctor, once my parents got left out of the room, I said, "Hey, listen, can I drink?" Like,
Because I need to
still
know.
drink?
Because I'm trying to turn up on the turn up, at least for my birthday. I just need to know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just need to know. Like, can I drink some wine after this? Like, will I be good with this? So, but yeah, it's certain things I don't drink, certain things I don't eat, just out of respect for my stomach and
So what was the
just
answer?
trying to.
Yes or no?
So some people can, some people can't. Some people can, some people can't. It just depends
Yeah.
on the person. Luckily, I'm someone who can, so we good.
I'm gonna need to consult your doctor because I feel like, look, Adriana said no, sir, no turning up. Exactly. If this is
Nah,
listen,
man, we good. We
yeah.
good.
So is it a autoimmune
Yeah,
disease or okay? I'm like, is it that?
yeah.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
affects my immune system, like bad. So
Yeah.
whenever like this whole COVID situation happened last year, as soon as I
He was
found
in
out
the
that it was
dungeon.
hitting my
Yeah.
team, I was,
Yeah.
hey, listen, HR,
Right.
I don't feel comfortable.
This is between life or death. For real, for real.
You know?
You was in the
Yeah.
dungeon. Wow. Yeah. So you had to like chill out for a while. Yeah. Yeah. Adriana
Mhm.
said, we're gonna ask your doctor, sir. Exactly. Like,
Hey,
um,
listen, my doctor is the one that nursed me back to health. The last
yeah.
guy that I got, man, it was either he healed me or he find out what works for me, or I'm getting my colon taken out, my whole intestine. Like I'm walking around with one of those bags. So
Bradley.
shout out to my doctor, man. I love that guy.
So are you on like a whole look? Now I'm all about you in your medical business. Are you on like a holistic path? Like what are you eating? Like are you trying like have you learned a lot about food now or no?
I have.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say I'm a bad eater, but I'm
Yeah.
not the healthiest eater either.
Yeah.
I still consume what I want, but I try to be more on the healthy side now,
Yeah.
and try not to. I do see like when I do eat certain things for an extended period of time, like fried chicken or fried foods, period.
Yeah.
If I have that for like 2 or 3 days straight, oh, I'm in the bathroom. No questions about it. I'm in the
Yeah.
bathroom. So
Yeah. So you really gotta, you gotta be on top of yourself. You gotta parent
yeah,
yourself. And that's
yeah,
hard, especially when you're 30, you would can you cook? Like,
I can.
I'm
But
like
the,
so
the
worried
hardest
about
part about it, the hardest part about it is being out at restaurants and just like looking at the menu and it's like, dang, this food look good, but okay, so let me get this, but take out the peppers, take out the onions.
oh, you
Let me
can't have
get
none of that.
light tomatoes.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
no,
you can't even have like you would
listen,
think, onions or peppers is not something that's unhealthy, but you can't have it.
it's not even about it being unhealthy. It's just what it consists of. It's certain
Right.
things
For your
within them that just
yeah.
it can cause a flare up if I eat too much.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
if I tell you the list, you'll be looking at me like, Brad,
I hope you have it on your fridge. No, because now I'm concerned. Now I'm like, I feel like I need to call Brad every day. What you eat today? But I'm sure your mama probably already do that. So, okay. So at this time, you're really sick or
honestly.
whatever. And yeah, Adriana says salad and water. That is it. Um, and I mean, you look healthy, so that's good. But sometimes I know people who look healthy cannot be. So I just hope for you in your own personal life, you're getting this down to a science. So obviously, getting sick shifted something in you as far as dating and how you were dating. So
Mhm.
what happened in that moment where you were like, or did you have that moment where you were like, yo, I got to get this together because the way that I'm dating sucks. This can't be life.
Yeah, so it really came down to, like I said, the girl I was dating at the time. While I was going through that, she was very, she wasn't really understanding of what
Yeah.
was going on. Like
Yeah.
it was a point where you know she wanted me to do certain things and go certain places, but I couldn't. Like
Yeah.
I really couldn't. It wasn't that I was exaggerating. I literally could not get out my bed at
Yeah.
some point. So
Yeah.
it was just she never came to see me. She came to see me like maybe a couple times throughout the whole 4 or 5 months that was going on.
Yeah.
And we lived 30 minutes away from each other. So we saw each other like 4 or 5 times out of the week. But
Yeah.
yeah, so at that point, I was really just like, you know what? nah, this got to change. And even
Yeah.
then, I still held on for like another year after that just to see if it was going, get any better after I got
Right.
better.
Right.
Not really, not really. So after that, it was really just a moment of like, okay, you need to just chill out for a while and just like reflect on yourself and get back to yourself because
Mhm.
whatever you got going on right now and whatever you're bringing into your life at this point, it's clearly is not working.
Right.
So I think that was around like 24, 25 when all of that happened, and I stayed single for probably like 2 years
Yeah.
after that relationship, and just sat there and reflected on who I was
And
and
what does
where I
that
was
look
going.
like for a guy? Like, because a lot of girls go through this when we finally come to our wits end. We're like, "F guys forever. I'm gonna work on myself." And so we dive into ourselves. For a
Mhm.
guy, what does that look like? So for those 2 years, you were doing what to figure out who Brad was?
So I'll be honest, the first
Mhm.
year, it was more so I had the mindset of like, you know what, man, these women out here keep hurting my feelings. They keep breaking my heart. Like, forget all that. I'm about to
Yeah.
just go out here and go crazy.
Yeah.
And I did for a little bit. It wasn't like I wouldn't be no crazy, outlandish, oh, it's hot boy summer type. But it was, I had a little fun. I had a
Right.
little fun. So
Right.
that was probably like the first half a year.
Mhm.
But after that, it was really just like, okay, bro, you gotta stop. He's like, this ain't you. So it was after that, it was really just me being to myself.
Mhm.
Getting into. I was pretty much playing gospel music like every day, every morning, just listening to my music. Um, Not really allowing people to have access to me that didn't need the access.
Yeah.
So my
That's the
family
key
they
right
had
there.
access. Yeah,
Yeah.
my
That's
friends
the
they had
key.
access. But if you weren't, it was really just a matter of like understanding who was bringing something to my life and who
Yeah.
was taking from my life at that point.
Yeah.
So I just, she's funny. I just was yeah, I just was sitting back reflecting on that, trying to differentiate between who was who, and not give too much attention or too much energy to something that wasn't beneficial to me. I was out at the lake sometimes, just chilling out there talking to God. Just, I
Yeah.
mean, 9, 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. I just, man, you know what? Let me go out here and just sit at the pond and just.
Yeah. 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 So do you feel like, because my moment, so I did all of that too.
Mhm,
And with the God thing, and because I know your story and you said earlier you grew up Christian too.
mhm.
So did you decide, because I don't know, but did you decide at this moment that you were actually going to start studying the word for you and building your own relationship with God? And did you feel like you didn't have that before?
To be honest, I didn't even say that I'm gonna start studying the word.
Hmm.
I just because I don't even consider myself. I don't. So I'm more spiritual than I am like religious, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I focus more so on just me having a relationship with God versus me trying to sit down and go to church and do X, Y, and Z to
Yeah.
be just because of this is how I brought. Like that's all good and fine. I still go to church when I can, but
Right.
I'm more so focused on just my relationship with Him in a spiritual sense. So
Yeah.
that's why I was like every day having my gospel music playing.
Yeah.
I would sit down and just have conversations with Him, pray, and do what I can in that sense. But I never really got into reading the Word like that. But um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is your dad disappointed? Did your
No,
dad know? Because is your dad a pastor?
he is. He is.
Yeah.
I don't think him or my mom. I don't think neither one of them is disappointed per se, because I don't think they really. We've never sat down and had that conversation.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but we did. It was so weird because I was watching the what's that documentary?
What is it on? I can
It
help.
had it's like
Or
the ancient African history and going back all into that. God, I can't think of the name of it right now. But
The color of compromise.
no. It was
Or
dog. I can't think. I'm gonna try and research it real quick.
okay. Well, I was gonna say when you what did you learn from it? Because you brought it up for a reason, probably because you learned something from it. So what did you learn?
It was basically just challenging everything that I had learned,
Yeah.
growing up in the church, and just and learn, and like even outside of the church growing up, like
Yeah.
even into the like the history of Africa, the history of like Saint Nicholas and
Hmm.
the Moors, and how really just
Did it?
everybody descended from Africa, and how they transitioned to all these different countries, and
Wait, I need to. So this definitely isn't the color of change then. But I was gonna say, did it also teach you that Africans, our ancestors, actually knew about Christianity before they came and stole us from our country?
it did mention that. Yeah.
Yeah. See, because a lot of people get that twisted. They always say Christianity is the white man religion, but in fact, Christianity was already in Africa before we were stolen from our own land. But then it was
Hmm.
watered down, and that's what the color of change is about. How, or is it called the color? No, the color of compromise. Woo, Jesus. The color of
Hmm.
compromise. It's on Amazon Prime. That'll piss you off. I can only watch one episode at a time because the way
Hidden
that they
colors. That's
dilute
what it's
it,
called.
and what's it called?
Hidden colors.
And it's on what app?
Ooh, I don't think it's on no apps. I found this. I had to download the series.
Oh, I want to watch it.
Yeah, it's Omar Johnson was on there. Tariq
Yeah,
Nasheed was on there. It's a bunch of different philosophers on there, but yeah,
yeah,
it was like a 4 part docu
yeah,
series. It was
man. And
amazing.
I encourage every preacher's kid, church kid, because I'm a church kid, a pew kid, whatever, to do their own research. Sometimes I think my mom thinks I'm a heathen or something because she'll send me stuff like, "Yeah, you should read this" or something. I'm like, "Mom, I clearly have a relationship with God, and I clearly read my Bible, and I clearly read books, and stuff." And it's because again, we didn't have that conversation either. It's just I don't
Hmm.
want to do it the way that I feel that I was taught, whether the
Right,
intention was there or not.
right.
I am just like, because what Christianity, I feel like. So the video I posted earlier. So let's get into, because we're about to end here, because I only told you an hour, and dang it, we of course on every episode I want you to know that I go over. So I apologize because I know it's what time
I
is it?
just
There? 9.
however long you want to go, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. So so okay, where do I want to go with this? So you're doing your journey, you figured yourself out.
Hmm.
So before we get into the what's happening on the internet cheating scandal, let's get into, so again, I've deemed you as a good guy. I'm sure you think you're
Hmm.
a good guy. So
Hmm.
explain to us women how we can recognize a good guy. If it's you, like, how do you date differently? Are you dating? First of all, are you dating? That would be a no. Okay.
It's not even that I'm not dating. It's just I'm not like actively searching for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't really put um I don't put pressure on anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just I
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
allow it to flow how it flows. If I meet
Good.
you and the conversation's good, the vibe is good, and we just communicate often, etc., and it just continues to grow from there. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But I'm not just out there trying to meet 5, 10 girls every time I go out just to try and like no, it's not any of that. But
Listen, I think that's beautiful. I'm over 2.5 years celibate, and I cannot see me dating right now. Like, what? For
right,
what? I just be looking at dudes like, ugh, what do you want to? Don't talk to me. Like,
right,
um,
right.
and it's not from a place of hurt. I'm definitely not hurt. I just know moving forward from now on, like before I get to even wanting to meet guys,
Hmm.
I know that what I'm doing with this platform and my business and Single You Academy, and I know that I want to move and everything, I am going to be set up well. And
Hmm.
I'm like you, I'm gonna just let God handle like it. So if God wants me to be married, he will present. and then we can
Right.
take it from there.
Right.
But from here on out, Reka Janelle Robinson, I ain't looking for nobody. Like, like even Adriana said, literally, exactly, for what?
Yeah.
Because these streets is not popping, and so
Man,
right, right. So I hear you on that. So you're just kind of keeping to yourself right now, then, huh?
yeah, in a sense, because
Yeah.
I know that for a fact I date with a purpose, right? So I
Yeah.
know that now that
Say that
I'm
again.
setting
Hold on.
myself.
Because pause. Because I do not hear a lot of men say that. Say it
uh,
again.
I date with a purpose,
And what does
and
that look like? What is that? Go
it's
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I date with the expectation that we're gonna be married eventually, and we're gonna have kids. That's that's my that's my purpose. So if you're not trying to do either one of those, we don't really have much to talk about. Like
Yeah.
we can be cool, we can be friends, but we're not gonna take it to that point. So I
Yeah.
know since I know that I don't really because a lot of people are I don't know what it is nowadays, but these people are just tripping and they don't want to I don't know, they just want to experience everything and everybody. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I ain't with all that.
Test drive the cars and all of that. I'm like,
Yeah, they trying to drive the boat and all that. Listen,
I
I'm
love
good on
that.
that.
I love it that you were a man who was like, forget all this sleeping around for what?
For what?
Yeah, yeah. So then for you, how do you feel like, or I mean, maybe you have thought about it, maybe you haven't,
Hmm.
but as a man, how will you know she's a good woman for you or she's the one? Or like, what are you looking for? Because, girls, we have our list, right? We like, he need to
Hmm.
be this and this and this. And listen, mine are not anymore. When I was younger, it used to be 6'6", 6 feet tall, 6 feet. Da, da. Now it's really about character, right? Like I'm definitely grown up and I'm proud of myself. But for
Yeah.
you as a man, in this space right now, do you feel like you kind of have a list? Maybe it's not written down. It could be up here, but
Hmm.
what does that look like?
Um, I think I don't know if it's a list per se because I don't necessarily stick by these certain things that I look for in
Mhm.
someone, but it's for me it's more so like a feel. If you make me feel like you are genuinely interested in me or you
Yeah.
genuinely care for me, then that tops a lot of things. Um, I used
So,
to have my preferences
okay.
and I used to look for certain things, but the older I got, it was kind of like you. Like I just mean those certain you're not gonna get it more times than not. So you just got to be open minded and let certain things just flow. And you probably missed your blessing trying to look for these certain things. You don't even know that, but you live
These
and you learn.
superficial things, yes, right.
Right.
These superficial
Yeah.
things. Like I said, mine is definitely more on character. Your fruit, as God says, you will know my people by its fruit. So I need to see
Hmm.
what your life. That's what does your life look like in the
Hmm.
areas of X, Y, and Z. How are you with your mother? How are you with the help? Are
Right.
you quick to anger? Are you like these are the things I look for now because I need first of all, and I number one on my list is must be slow to anger because my abusive ex, my God,
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good
he,
one.
I mean, a leaf would fall off the tree and oh my God, like it would be the end of the world. Like, why didn't I see that? I don't know. But so with you, you said it's a feeling.
Hmm.
Let me ask you, with the girl before or the girls, do
Hmm.
you feel like you had that feeling though? So then how are you going to know the difference?
I don't think I had a feeling.
Okay. Okay.
At the same time, I wasn't mature enough to really understand if I had that feeling or not at that
Okay.
point.
Okay.
But now that I'm mature enough and I've thought
Mhm.
about it and looked back on it, yeah, I didn't have that feeling at all.
Okay. Okay. And what you are talking about, because a lot of people do say, and I've heard a lot of men say this who are married to the one they said it about, they knew the moment they saw her. And then they
Hmm.
just kind of like maneuvered through and was like, God, is this you or not? And let me check it out. Da, 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 da. So they didn't have
Hmm.
to do this 7-year engagement dating life, which is
Hmm.
weird to me. But so your feeling that you're talking about, is it that or is it because we got butterflies when we attracted to somebody. Like So we
Right.
just think, yeah, she the one. I tell women your vajayjay, your vagina doesn't know if he's the one or not. Leave that alone. Shut her
Yeah.
down. Tell her to shut up and figure out and data collect. Figure out. That's
Mhm.
what it is to me, data collection. So for you, is it the butterfly feeling or what feeling? I don't know. I don't know if you know how to describe it, and if you don't, that's okay. But I just want to see if we can go a little bit deeper.
Are you just talking about in general and what I look
Yeah,
for,
because
or
because you said that you're looking for this feeling, and that's how you will know she's a good woman for you.
it's really, man, it's hard to explain,
Mhm.
but it's one of those things like, if you see it and it makes you feel a
You'll
certain
know.
way, like
Yeah, yeah.
it's like falling in love, right? Let's say you date this person. I don't put time limits on anything. I don't put time restraints on anything. You can fall in love in 2 weeks. You can fall in love in a year, 3 years. It don't matter. However long it takes you, that's how long it takes you.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like a feeling that I get when I fall in love. Like I understand that at some point I'm doing X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
why are you feeling like this? And at
Mhm.
that point, that's when my antennas started popping up and like, okay, well, let me really think about this thing and see if, I'm really feeling what I'm feeling. And
Yeah.
same thing with when it comes to, getting to know a person and actually feeling like they're genuinely there for me. It's just one of those things that I get that um I'll know it when I feel it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Because
But
you've never felt it before, so I guess it'll feel different.
right. Well,
Yeah.
with my last girlfriend, I
Okay.
did, but I feel like she was genuinely there for me. She was like the only one who didn't cheat on me.
Yeah.
But
So what
yeah, that's a whole other story.
happened? Oh, you don't have to tell. But I'm like, well, I mean,
No, no, I mean I
okay.
don't mind telling, but it's just I want to, it's your time, so I don't want to
Yeah.
go over it any
Yeah.
more than you want to go. So
Yeah. Well, no, I am curious. If you said that you had this feeling with her, why didn't
mhm.
it work out? What are
um,
yeah.
so it was more so like a spiritual thing.
Mhm.
She understood that there were things that were being told to her and shown to her
Mhm.
that basically just said that I wasn't her husband.
Oh, okay. Well,
So we
that's
just
good. Okay.
mutually agreed to go our separate ways. We're still cool. We're still
Right.
fine, but
You know what? And I like that because people think there's this narrative also out there. If you're a good person and I'm a good person, we just have to make it work.
hmm
When just because I'm attracted to you or whatever, I don't have to be with you. And that doesn't make you a bad person or me a bad person.
hmm
She obviously
yeah,
just made the decision for herself. Look, Adriana, I'm nosy. This is called an interview. Yes. Okay. Um, so no, but and see, and this is why I love asking questions because there's beauty in that. For
right,
her to feel like he's not. I've told one in this new Reka. This happened at the beginning of this year, or maybe it was the end of 2020. Anyway, I straight up told him after like a month, I said, "Oh, you're not my husband. I'm done."
hmm
Like I knew, like I know that I know that I know that I know now because I'm so in tune with myself and with God, and like me and him, we got a pat. Like I already told him, like you gonna tell me he's him if he do this. Da, da, da. So I think that's beautiful that you are mature enough to go, okay,
yeah,
I don't take offense to that. I mean, not to say that it doesn't hurt your feelings. I'm like, dang, I could have been, da, da, da.
yeah,
But to be mature enough to walk away without staining her name,
right,
because every relationship doesn't have to be dramatic. Like it doesn't have to be this drama filled stuff.
right.
So, okay, before we get to the mess that's on the internet, last question for you about you is so is there anything that we left out? And could you give any tips for women on how to spot a good man like you?
Um, well, first you got to give them a chance. That's just that's first and foremost.
Yeah.
What I've come to find out recently is just that there's such a stigma when it comes to guys that women just automatically assume that, oh well, you just another brother, you out here cheating on the next one just like you X
Yeah.
Y and Z,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
look out here in the streets too. I'm like, no, we're just out here chilling, like we're just out here
Yeah.
chilling. but you just got to give that person a chance. And I feel like that's where a lot of women miss their blessing. Men at the same. I'm not gonna say it's just women, but men at the same. But when you look for a good guy, just I mean, you just got to go with. You got to take everything with a grain of salt, of course. 'Cause, I mean, everybody knows that whatever is being displayed to you, it could potentially be fake. It could, but at the same time, if you're putting out good, then that's all you need to worry about at the same time. So um, give them a chance. Just put out your best.
Yeah.
Um,
So
more
I would,
time. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I will say this: when you say give him a chance, just for my girls, that does not mean you give it up. That's
No,
not giving somebody a chance. This is
mm,
how we get hurt, because in what is supposed to be the data collecting process of getting to know somebody and building a friendship, we get into this fantasy world, and then we give it up because we also think that that is the price of dating. Well, I just have to have sex with him. But you got
mm-hmm.
men out here like Bradley who will be like, you know what? I'll wait. Let's,
Adriana, come on, man. You got to give them a chance.
yeah, yeah. So you are allowed to say, as a woman, especially to a good man, I just want to, let's just see where this goes.
Hmm.
I just want to get to know you as a friend. Sex is off the table.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because that's one thing that I don't really recommend is bringing sex into the relationship too early. Um, I've done that. It's complicated a lot of stuff, and I just feel like it would probably work better without that being in there. So definitely don't do that. I'm not gonna put a time restraint on it. I'm not gonna
Right,
say
right, right,
have to
right.
do your 90-day rule or whatever. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna just say that don't go into it just thinking right off the bat, oh, I'm gonna give him some to see what happens.
Or I have to, so he'll like me.
Yeah,
Like a
yeah,
lot of
no,
women do that too. Like and listen, guilty. We just think, well, this is the cost of dating, so I must do.
right,
So
right,
we
yeah,
do. And then we
no,
get hurt. So I hope you as a woman, if you're listening to this on the replay, if you're listening to this on Single You the podcast, I hope that you heard him. Take it off the table. And whatever time
no,
frame that is for you, that is
right,
for you. So that's what I teach my clients. Like I have four pillars. Well, I help you discover your worth so that you stop tying your worth and identity to men. And
hmm,
with that, coming out of Single You Academy, you will know who you are, know what you want, have the audacity to believe that you can get it, and the patience to wait for it. So if you never do this self-discovery, this introspection, you're not even gonna know, well, I want to wait 2 months, or I want to wait a year, or I want to wait till I get married. You're not gonna know. You're gonna allow him to set the rules and the boundaries for your relationship because you're trying to man please again, morph, tap dance, and shape shift into the rules that he sets for you, and men as well, men and women. Like I don't want you settling for the rules that women set for you as you have in the past.
right.
Okay, so before we get off this platform, I'm not even gonna mention no names because I don't want to be that messy, but let's get messy. So there is this drama going on Black Twitter right now, Black Instagram,
Hmm.
whatever you want to call it, because somebody has now fallen from this pedestal that people had him on. Not me,
Hmm.
not me. I'm gonna tell you, not me. Not gonna
Hmm.
tell you why. I'll tell you why offline, but not me because I already knew. Now, now people are. She has decided to stay, and she has put it on God. What do you what do you
Okay.
think about that? What do you think about all of this drama that's going on with cheating? The rhetoric is saying that see all men cheat, see blah blah blah. Like what do you think about this mess that's happening on the internet right now?
So I personally haven't listened to what was going on,
Okay.
but I have been seeing all of the comments and
Did
statements
you
being
know
made.
who this person was? Like as far as
I had
his
no
celebrityness?
idea,
Oh, you
no
didn't?
idea.
Okay. Okay. Well
No,
then, yeah, then it's
I
cool.
think I saw him before, but I never paid attention to who he was or anything like
Okay.
that. I wasn't like an avid watcher of his videos and whatnot.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but yeah, I mean, from what I've seen was being talked about, I think that your video that you posted would fit perfectly with that. Like,
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I know
In
that
fact,
for a fact. If it was me in that situation
yeah.
and my wife had cheated on me and me, I probably would not stay. But that's just me personally.
Yeah, I don't know why people think that, well, I do know why, but people think that it's more Christian like to stay after you
Hmm.
get cheated on. And I'm just like, that's not even what are we, and you can't say that
Right.
because that is what God would want. Now listen, I am also of the understanding that God speaks to all of us differently.
Hmm.
Okay. But work that out off the internet then. Figure
Facts.
that out instead of, well, I'm going to stay because it's Christian like to do that. Mm,
Hmm.
mm, because my Bible says you can divorce if you are cheated on. That's one of the reasons to get a divorce. And I understand the Bible talks about how God hates divorce. But listen, I have my pastor on this very platform talking
Hmm.
about that is not the unforgivable sin. Like, why do people just stay in mess? Like,
Hmm.
no. So, but yeah, I will, let me pull up your Instagram because I do want to share that video, not right now. We're going to go ahead and end. But I do want to show your, uh, oh, that's when I was Wonder Woman for Halloween. Hold on.
That's
Why can
dope.
I?
Your
Yeah.
hair looks amazing.
Thank you. That was, that was when I had still had blonde in my hair and all that.
Yeah.
So let's pull you up. What is your Instagram? Brad.
Stay up, Brad.
Yeah, Brad. Okay. So, what?
You know, it's so funny. While you're doing that, it's so
Uh-huh.
funny because since I've been on Clubhouse, I've never heard so many people say that, "Oh, your Instagram looks so clean. It looks so wholesome."
Yeah,
Okay,
you
what is
do.
it supposed to look
Right.
like?
I feel like you don't even post though. Like I feel,
I,
look at this. Look, that's where your
I
pictures
took a
go.
lot of posts down. I took a
Oh,
lot
did
of
you?
posts down. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I got you. So the video that Brad is talking about is definitely on my Instagram. So that's his Instagram, obviously. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can show my IGTV on here. Maybe. Oh yeah. But we're not going to play this one. But this is my response to people saying that, well, I'll just say it's a discussion on do all men cheat. So if you want to watch that, it's on my Instagram. All right, Brad, did we miss anything? Anything else
No,
you need to say?
I don't think so. I just, everybody listen to what Miss Rika is talking about. She giving out good advice to y'all. She,
Miss
listen,
Rika, that makes me sound like I'm a teacher
I,
or something. So,
I will say this though. I will say this.
uh,
Um, I love it when women have standards and when they have morals and they stand firm on them. So if you're that woman that you feel yourself kind of giving in sometimes to what you really want and what you stand on, don't do that. Like, don't allow yourself to belittle who you are and what you want just because that person may think that you ain't deserving of it. No, you are deserving of it. Just find a better person. That's so I just want to throw that tidbit out there. So
find a better person.
man, it's so many better
That
guys out
is
here.
right. I'm like, and that we're just gonna end on that. That was beautiful. Yeah, so we're gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching Single You the Podcast live. Don't forget, we're here every Wednesday. Well, I'm here, and then we, if I have a guest, I guess. I don't know who we is. But girl, I'm here for you every Wednesday, 6 p.m. That is Seattle time. Go Hawks all day. And that's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's New York time. So thank you so much for watching. If you are watching this on the Just Me Rika Inspires page during the replay, type replay in the comments because I still get the notification. And please share. Please share. Then Mark Zuckerberg goes, oh, people like this video. Okay, let me then put it more to people. Otherwise, he
Yeah,
wants me to pay for it. So help a sister out. So
working on the
anyway,
analytics.
Exactly. So thank you for watching.